Similarly, Microsoft had a phone, Windows Phone. Well, that didn't age that well either. But let's kind of act as if that was the case. So based on these comparisons, let's find out which one is indeed a cheaper option. Well, technically, Google have phones. So let's make Apple the benchmark. Let's leave Google the same. Let's find these three numbers for Apple. $259.30. And if you go to statistics, 3205 and 247. Based on this alone, I can immediately tell you that Google is cheaper, but I'm more interested in finding a target price. Okay. I'm gonna make that difference with if analysis goal seek equal to 0 by changing that fake price or the price based on pay. So this actually says relative to Apple, Google should be 374. Okay. You know, that also immediately tells you, assuming that this comparison is meaningful, you should be considering Microsoft to be cheaper than Apple. In fact, let's go ahead and do those. An Apple Microsoft comparison. 523. I'm going to leave it at that level. Uh, 33 to 326. And by changing this price. So if Apple is properly valued, then the price for Microsoft that makes their PEG ratio the same is 571 instead of 523. So which one would you buy? Apple or Microsoft? Hmm? Microsoft is 523 right now, but we're saying it should be 574. So you should buy which one? Microsoft. Okay. In fact, we can even write something here. If this price is greater than the actual price, buy. Otherwise, sell. Not that you can't make that uh, comparison. Make that white sentence. Maybe italic, underline. It's my cell. I can format it any way I want. A lot of times when I build templates, I don't even want to think about what to do based on number. I let Excel tell me what to do. All right. Now, this is based on PE type stuff. One other alternative is there are many things that drive the PE ratio. One of those things is leverage. Okay, and there is also issue with the way you treat non-cash expenses. So let's see if we can build something based on. I'm going to kind of set it up. Come on. Let's think about um, alternative measure based on EV over EBITDA. EV is short for enterprise value. I mean, we briefly talked about it in chapter 3, but just want to make sure that I'm getting it's market cap uh, plus total debt minus cash and cash equivalents. So you can think of enterprise value as kind of estimated value for the assets of the firm, okay? Estimated value for the assets of long-term assets of the firm. We deduct cash and cash equivalents because we already know the value of them in a sense. EBITDA, earnings per share, earnings in general. I mean, if you calculate EV per share, you calculate EBITDA per share as well. Earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation and amortization. If you use summary numbers for these using places like financeyahoo.com, that depreciation and amortization literally refers to depreciation and amortization. But if you do this for a living, I typically add some other non-cash expenses, for example, stock-based compensation, especially for tech companies, that could be a significant number. And you can find that under, for example, let's go to, for example, EBITDA for this is Microsoft. For Microsoft is $156 billion, okay? As opposed to their net income, $101 billion. So over $50 billion, this is per year, by the way. It comes from either interest expense, taxes, or non-cash expenses, at least depreciation and amortization. You're probably thinking, what sort of depreciation a software company has? What do you think? Because that's a big number. A company like Microsoft gives a lot of data services, like, you know, and that means they have big server farms and they have these computers in those server farms, or they bought a lot of NVIDIA chips. Those have depreciation on them as well. And we also have, uh, we should have enterprise value somewhere. I mean, we have the ratio, so we could figure that out. For Microsoft, EV over EBITDA, 2372.